It was back in 2011 when I was a full-time mum to our son, and Sanj had just left the city to look at different opportunities. And years before that, we had come across care ourselves through our loved ones, and always in the backs of our mind, we were thinking this could be better and it should be better. So when we had this opportunity to start something on our own, we did extensive research and found domiciliary care, and actually found that that's something that we would be quite passionate about. It got to a point where we were growing and we could see the opportunities expanding into other areas. But what we didn't want to do was spread ourselves thin, and we didn't want to have that impact on the current business that we already had. And that's where we decided that actually franchising would be the way we would go. So we then set about looking into how we go about franchising. And one of the key things that we wanted was to make sure that we found individuals or people that shared our values. We had this model that was obviously working, it was working for us, and we wanted to share that with other people to follow that model. And hence that's where we are today.
Why should people franchise and not start their own business? Well, it's been well documented that owning a franchise is much lower risk than starting your own brand. I guess you're walking a well-trodden path with a franchise. All your processes, your procedures, your branding, your systems, website, etc. are going to be handed to you. But that alone shouldn't make you want to do things as a franchise or go it alone. I think owning your own business, regardless of franchise or not, is a very lonely place. And I think if you're part of a good franchise network, you actually get a wider team, a wider family that you can collaborate with. And I think that is probably the biggest benefit that I think you get from a good franchise network.
One of the benefits, or the way that we take care of our franchisees, is right at the beginning we'll already have started the process in setting them up on the microsites, on setting up on the individual or the various platforms there are, such as social media. So that's things that they don't really have to think about. It's things that they can just start from the get-go, essentially, and we will train them on how to use those platforms, but everything's actually set up for them. And I think that's really important, because a lot of businesses that do come on board, they probably won't have the experience or the knowledge on how to do this, and it may take them longer. And what we do is just speed up that process for them.
There's a lot of different franchisors out there selling franchises. That's not what we do. We recruit franchisees. It's really interesting. If I ever get the question, or the first question is, how much money am I going to make? It's a very short interview. Running a business isn't easy. We talked about how lonely it is, but you have to have the energy to make it work. If you don't put the energy in, you will achieve nothing. We can help you with the model and the process and the training, but ultimately it's up to you to make it a success. Essentially, when we get in new franchisees, we need to bring them up to a level that we'd expect from our own staff. So we will train them into how to get staff, we will train them how to find customers, we will train them in how to run their business. But the key to this is they're being trained by us. We were the ones that actually started this business. They're not learning from a textbook. And what we hope to get across to them is we actually give a damn. Not just for our customers, but for our franchisees as well.
What we want to see is that people genuinely care about the care industry. We're never ever going to make a difference in the way care is provided if it's all just about the business. It is about the people. Care, you have to be compassionate yourself. You have to understand that actually you're not just looking after the vulnerable people in your community, you're also looking after the people that you employ. And you have to consider, when you take on an opportunity like this, you have to consider, how much can I give to this? How much of my time can I give to this? How much dedication? Because it isn't it's not just a business, you know, where you're selling coffee on the streets, or you know, this is about people's lives, and to genuinely make that impact and a difference in them, you've got to want to make that change.
When someone becomes a franchisee, the results can be different for everybody. If you follow the model and you put in the energy, you will turn a profit. You will get a return on your investment. All of our franchisees have done that. One of the good things that we've seen is they've all achieved their CQC registration, they've all recruited the key members of staff, they've grown their teams, they've built a network for their customer base, and they've become successful businesses in their communities, well recognized. But what's really important to us is the ones that have put in the energy, regardless if they came from a care background or not, or even a business background or not, they're standing on their own 2 feet, they're growing their business, and they are successful business owners. The issue is, if you don't put in the energy, you won't achieve the business that you're looking for.